Michigan State has now won two straight. They hit the road to take on Maryland. Notable because Michigan State is 0-3 in conference play on the road this season. It's never easy to win on the road. With that said, Ken Palm likes the Spartans as a 3-point favorite against a Maryland team that looked dead in the water for much of this season. They looked much better of late. They got that big win in Champaign. Went on the road to Northwestern. It was a final possession game. Jameer Young was incredible in that game, to the tune of 36 points. Point blank, do you think this is a game that Michigan State should be the favorite in?
To be honest with you, no, I don't think so. I think that this should be, and my handicapping skills are pretty bad, but I think this should be like pick 'em, like -1 each way, like -125 for either way, no plus money on it. I just think that the level of play that Michigan State has shown on the road this season, and also combine that with the fact that Maryland, a team that was kind of dead in the water, like you said, has picked it up as of late. They had the big win at Illinois. They almost went on the road and beat Northwestern, but Jameer Young has been playing incredible basketball this past week, and even extended to that, going back to the UCLA game where he had 36. Kevin Willard brought up that he had been sick leading up into Big Ten play, and he kind of was like getting back in his groove. I think he's found that groove. He's been a special player, and yeah, I'm definitely not confident going into this game at Maryland on the road.
Feels like there's two ways that Maryland can beat you. One is Jameer Young going stupid. The other is Julian Reese playing well. Against Illinois, it was Reese who was really good. Young was good too, but Reese had 20 points. He's had really quiet games. He had the notorious 0 points, 0 for 4 from the floor game against Purdue, where he was just non-existent. And then he's had some games where he's been stellar this season. He is a big that can get going. That should be scary for Michigan State on paper. Do you think that Reese is going to feast against MSU's bigs?
I think that MSU's bigs have like the defensive archetype and the body type to hang with Reese. I think Reese is very overpower the opponent type, very overpower, strong, heavy left hand presence. I think if the Michigan State bigs like Soko and Cooper are able to keep that in mind, I don't necessarily think that Julian Reese can overpower either of those two players necessarily. I think they can hang with him strength wise and knowing that he's a heavy left hand presence player. But also at the same time, Julian Reese is a guy who people know he's going left. He still gets to it. And he's honestly has gotten better with finishing with his right hand this season compared to the amount where he wouldn't even touch the ball with his right hand last season. So uh, Julian Reese is definitely someone that can get going, but Jameer Young is the one that scares me. And I know that, defensively, Michigan State's guards kind of do have the chops to at least take the challenge and go head up with a guy like that. But at the same time, there's been some defensive lapses these past couple games against guards that scared me. So coming off a game against Minnesota where we played well, but I saw the likes of Mitchell going crazy, at least in my eyes, better than I thought he would go. Jameer Young is 10 times, 20 times the player that Mitchell is. So it scares me.
Who do you want to see guard Jameer Young from the Michigan State side?
Probably Jaden.
Really?
I think so. I mean, I think the best option would be Tyson, honestly. I think Tyson's the best on-ball defender on the team, but we seem reluctant to ever put Tyson on the other best team's ball handler.
Do you think that's because we need to save him for offense, or what? What do you think the reason for that is?
I think that's the reason, but at the same time, there's not enough offense going on for me right now. Like if we are saving him for offense, I like those attempts to come on the offensive end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I think all three of the guards will get time on Jameer, but this might be one where if I was coaching Michigan State, it's like Tyson, take him, go be better than him. Like, make it mano y mano, Tyson versus Jameer. Tyson needs to outplay him. And I would like Michigan State's chances with that better than I would whatever Jameer's going to do against Hogart or Akins.
Yeah, and Jameer on the other end, he's one of the better defensive guards in the Big Ten too. Like his size, strength, and athleticism, I do think can give Tyson some trouble. We saw that Minnesota was able to face guard him and kind of throw him off his game. But I mean, this is a big step for this Michigan State team because, like you said, we are late into January right now, and we still have yet to have a Big Ten road win. And I think that's an aforementioned hump that this team needs to get over.
Yeah, you could also just double Deshaun Harris-Smith or double off of Deshaun Harris-Smith and double Jameer Young. That
Yeah,
would work.
until him and Geronimo start making shots, and then it's like, oh God.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I know that happened. They both hit 1-3 against Illinois. It felt like they hit 6 threes. Maryland's one of the worst shooting teams in the country. Michigan State, somehow, after the horrible start, they're up to 75th in the country in three-point shooting. Isn't that crazy?
I don't
Like,
know. I don't know how.
it's insane. Guess we should have never doubted that. But um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. What do you think the road problems are from? Like, do you think there's something mental with it, or do you think they've just been tough games? Like, Nebraska's a good team. Northwestern's better than we thought. Illinois is very good. Like, just tough games.
I think it's less like in their heads, like they just can't travel on the like in their heads on the road. I think it's just that they played better basketball at home, just straight up. And I don't know what that is. I don't know. I think that's more equivalent to them actually playing teams that are playing good at home. Like Nebraska played well, Northwestern played well, Illinois, played well enough. I don't know necessarily they played well, but um, I don't know. I just think it's one where you got to just get over the hump. And if you do got to pick a team, I mean, I get Maryland's been good these past couple weeks, but it's still we can't forget what Maryland did leading into this past couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that Maryland has actually turned a corner or no?
I don't think they turned a corner. I still think they're a bad basketball team. But they do realize they got two guys that are good, and they're just gonna see if those two guys playing well can get them wins.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also think they did a good job of picking it up on the defensive end because they're like, okay, we're not getting anything offensively out of Deshaun Harris-Smith. We're not really getting anything offensively out of Geronimo. Like, let's press. And I think their press has been pretty good, and the ball pressure that they apply has been pretty good. And it's kind of changes up and makes teams uncomfortable. So, but I still think all in all, at the end, Maryland's not a good basketball team. Like I think Michigan State is a better basketball team than Maryland.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you for that record. It's just, can they get over the road stuff here or not? I don't know.
I'm terrified of the jerseys that Maryland's wearing.
They are nice. They're very
You
nice.
seen these? These are nice.
Yeah, they're really, really
Those
nice.
are really clean.
Is this a must-win game?
every every game, every game, we can't afford to
Well,
drop.
the last two were. I don't know if this one is.
Um,
I think you got to win one of the next two. Is that fair?
yeah, I think that's what I said too. We need to go. We need to find a way to go 3-1.
Yeah, at Maryland, at Wisconsin, I think you got to win one of the next two.
Right. So if you want to put less pressure on the Kohl Center, then maybe this is a must win.
But in reality, not a must-win, right?
Yeah, in reality, no. And also in reality, in Michigan State fashion these past couple years, it would be very on brand for us to lose this game and then somehow find a way to win at the Kohl Center.
It's true. All right, that leads us to our prediction. What do you have?
I have Michigan State winning this game. I'm going to say 70, 75 to 75 to 64.
Oh, wow. Double digits.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna get away late.
Okay.
Tyson
That has been
explosion.
the path of like every Michigan State victory is like tie game midway through the second half, and then you end up winning by double digits. It's interesting.
Yeah,
Um, I I'm gonna pick Maryland, but then I think you're gonna beat Wisconsin. I think you're
okay.
gonna for sure get one of the next two. And if you win this one, I think you drop at Wisconsin.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Good luck. Go Green. Wolf Wolf. We'll have a recap up this weekend.